Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode in the Death Note time skip. I'm here.
Well, official one, because technically 26 had had a little bit of the time skip. I'd like
right. It was just more like recapping, like what like it's 5 years later.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, anyway, I'm Alan Talent, and this is Owen Finch.
And let's just start talking about. So we've decided we're just going to combine them into 2 episodes because 27 really set up 28.
Right.
And we were also eating at the time, so...
Yeah, so we didn't want to, like, stuff our faces while we were reviewing.
We're thinking of you guys here, so we
Thinking of you guys.
Yeah.
All 2 of you.
Yeah.
Anyway, episode 27 is called Abduction, which we find out later why.
And, so I got to move the mic real quick so I can see. It came out in Japan on April 17th, 2007, and it came out... the one we're watching, the English dub version, on April 27th, 2008. So this was exactly a year apart from each other. They actually...
And it's crazy thinking, like, in the show, it's 2012. Because, like, for the people watching this when it came out, this was 2012 was, like, in the future.
Yeah.
And now for us, it's, like, a couple years in the past.
Yeah, exactly. Probably don't even... Was it 2012 yet when you were watching this, or do you not even remember?
I don't think it was I think it was like 2013, 2014.
Yeah, so like 2012, had already happened for you. It's kind of funny though, because typically like when they do a time skip like that, they'll like bring in unnecessary technology. Like the technology they have was actually
pretty realistic. Yeah. Like not a whole lot of like big advancements.
Like like
not a whole lot changed. Like everyone else looks pretty similar to it.
Yeah. But, like, that's kind of... I mean, I kind of like it in a way, because, like, I hate it, like, sometimes when they, like...
Yeah. Oh, my God. Like, they cured every disease in 5 years.
Yeah, you're not going to do that. Like, they kept it pretty realistic of how they thought the world would have looked like.
Yeah, and basically how it looked 5 years ago.
Yeah, so, kind of shows, like, we haven't really made advances in the past 5 years.
Not really.
Like, so, the only thing that, like, they didn't get one was, like, cell phones, maybe, but, like... In the task force...
No, flip phones I feel like were still a thing in 2012.
Yeah, they were, but they were kind of moving away.
Dying out, yeah.
But it makes sense, though, with, like, the people that were using the flip phone. So, like, people in the task force and stuff.
Right,
like,
it'd be kind of hard to predict, like, touch phones,
Yeah, exactly. And especially, too, like, if you're working in the task force, like, you don't want to... Probably it's the best thing to, like, use a flip phone and stuff like that.
Right.
But, yeah, so they kept it pretty realistic. You didn't see, like, cars flying all over the place.
Yeah, it'd be a bit weird.
Yeah. Like, what did you guys do? Like, what were you guys doing for the plus, too, like, if you think about it, too, like, let's just think about it like this. Like, they're more focused on catching Kira right now. I don't think they're focused on inventing flying cars and stuff.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, okay, Kira's killing, like, everyone. We should probably put a stop to that.
Maybe that's the whole thing. Like, Kira's preventing the world from advancing now, too.
Actually, that'd be kind of cool.
Like, everyone... Like, someone's just about to cure, like, cancer or something. And then,
like, just kills them.
Yeah, like... That would be, I shouldn't say awesome, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it'd be funny. Just like every time there's about to be a big advancement, Kira just kills him.
Yeah, like...
Oh, and episode 28 is called Impatience, and that came out on April 24th, 2007, and May 4th, 2008.
Yep, so you didn't really have to wait much long, But let's talk about, 27. So, like, we were kind of talking about it, though, but...
it actually cuts back in time to 2007.
Yeah.
This was, like, right after... This is at the end of 26, when the orphanage where Elle grew up, the headmaster of it found out that Elle is dead.
Yeah, it was, like, right after that scene from 26, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Mello and Nier are the names of the 2 kids that were in the room. Mm-hmm. And they were planned to be Elle's successors, but he didn't pick which one.
Yeah, because we talked about, like, in the last episode, like, we did say, like, Elle knew he was dying in 25, but I don't think, like, he knew exactly, like, like, a few days in advance, like, he was, like, it was more, like, an immediate thing, like, he
and I think he, like, was gonna have light, like, he didn't, like, when he was, like, gonna pick between these 2, I think, like, he was gonna have Light be his successor, which he is.
Yeah.
Like,
but,
he was, so,
Yeah. Mel, and they actually did a pretty good job, like, showing this. Like, Mel and Nia don't get along with each other. You could kind of see, like, they were kind of arguing, like, before they had found this out and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, and, Mel's willing to work, with Nia, but, like...
Well, actually, opposite. Nier's the one to work with Mel, but Mel's not willing to work with Nier.
Yeah. So
we can kind of see Nier's very like much like L, like very emotionless and like robotic. Mel's very much like emotional and like off the wall.
And I think he said like his emotion and off the wallness would like just kind of hold them back a little bit too. So like he disappears from the orphanage.
Right, and basically he says like Nier can succeed L, but he doesn't say that like he'll catch Kira. Like he's gonna catch Kira, but like on his own terms, kind of.
Yeah. So what I really liked is like, and I think I gotta say too, like Death Note did the times jump like for the past 5 years like very well, because we see like that Kira got so powerful, and we talked about this like losing L, like it allowed Kira to become more powerful. Like nobody was standing in Kira's way now from just being able to do whatever he wants. Like Kira's at like the height of his power now.
Right, like he's just killing anyone who he wants, and governments can't really do anything.
Yeah.
About it.
So pretty much governments, now Kira, even though he was like pretty national before, but now the government doesn't have like a choice now but to step in pretty much.
Right.
So now we see that Nier, along with like the president and some other people, have like formed a task force kind of in America, to kind of catch Kira. But I believe they kind of want to kind of disband the Japanese one in a way too, because
they find out about the Death Note.
Yeah,
and they don't trust the Japanese police anymore.
Yeah, because the Japanese police
and it's been 5 years since L died.
Yeah,
they haven't made any like advances. Obviously, that's because the Light's running it.
Yeah,
obviously he's not gonna like make sure the task force can catch him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so. What and I feel like too, like they don't tell us this, but that's basically I think what we know is happening here. Like any times they probably like it's looked like they're gonna make some advancement, like Lights steered him away from it or something.
Right, because it's like obviously he's leading a task force out to catch him. He's not gonna actually make it so they can catch him.
Yeah, I know. Like so, and that's kind of like one of the became like one of the flaws. Like I said, because if L was still alive, like Light would have been executed by now.
Oh yeah, L almost pinned Light in a year. If he had 6 years to do it, absolutely.
Yeah, he wouldn't have even needed the rest of the season.
he like needed a couple more days, and then he would have had Light pinned.
Yeah, but then we see back in Japan
we're at Light's parents' house.
Yeah, and they're just kind of having like a typical dinner, but they're talking about the Kira case.
That was over.
Yeah.
And they look a little different. Like Light looks like a bit more built now. He's like a couple years older. He was only like 18. He was my age.
Yeah, Deputy. Yeah, you gotta remember you can't call him Chief anymore. He doesn't like that. So,
Deputy Yagami I still can't pronounce his first name.
Yeah.
He has more grayness hair.
I don't even think we know his first name. Actually.
No, we do. I can't pronounce it.
And I believe like
Matsuda has like a haircut.
Yeah. And they what really showed like time had advanced was when we see Sayu come in, but like we see like she's really grown up because she was probably like what 15.
Probably like 12 to 15, somewhere around that.
Yeah, but like
now she's like like 17 to 20.
She's probably like either just has graduated or like about to graduate high school. So you're the same age as her here.
Oh yeah, I am.
That's so funny. You're the same age as Light in the beginning of the show. Now you're basically the same age as Sayu.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah. This they do some things with this, but like this basically was just to show that
like a bit of like comedy and stuff like that.
Yeah, like it was to show that like time had passed, so nothing important, like nothing like significantly important, like it physically happens with that. But they find out that I don't know if this was the same day or like the next day or whatever.
No, they were eating there, and then the chief got a call.
That the director of the police was kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
And they also say like if they have to give up, the Death Note in exchange
for the director, yeah.
And the director of the U.S. Task Force comes up, and when he mentions like he wants to see the director, and he also of the Japanese police, and he also mentions like that he wants the Death Note. Chief Yagami
flips out and like assumes that he's the one who kidnapped the director.
Yeah, and we see that N is listening in, and and realizes that like since their director was kidnapped, that he decides to work with them to get their director back pretty much because
yeah, and like so they don't have to give up the Death Note.
Yeah.
So we cut to Mello, I believe, who he's working with the mafia and have kidnapped the director.
Yeah.
And they've basically tortured information out of him. Now they know who's on the task force.
Except Light, because his name didn't get mentioned.
No, well, yeah, they don't know that Light is L.
Yeah.
And this is important for later. They know that Chief Yagami is on the task, or the Deputy Yagami is on the task force.
Yeah.
And they use this to their advantage later.
And pretty much, then we see Light, and he ends up killing the chief of the Japanese task force, which we just kind of talked about this beforehand, kind of shows how much Light has changed because, like, the chief really wasn't, not the chief, the director really wasn't standing in Light's way, because typically only Light's killed people, like Ray Pember and his wife, because they were just about to catch him.
Right, like he kills like guilty people.
Yeah.
And then if he kills, like, people who haven't done anything wrong, it's because they were standing in his way.
like, even though, like, you could say, like he even killed, like, the criminals, like, that were working in the task force, like,
Weddy and Aber.
And, the businessmen, too, like, he felt like he had to kill because they kind of knew too much about the Death Note at that point and stuff. Not really about the Death Note, but, like,
yeah, of Kara in general.
Yeah. So, but, like, this is one of the first times, like, he's killed somebody that really wasn't standing in his way. And, he thinks, though, that it's going to, like, solve the problem now. Like, now they don't have, like, someone to negotiate, really, anymore. But
they flip it on its head and make it, like, an advantage for them.
Yeah. So, what ends up happening now is, they reveal they've kidnapped somebody else, Sayu. And, like, Light was surprised by this, because I don't even think it's... I mean, I think it's because a little bit that it's because, like, he cares about his sister, but I think it's kind of like Light was kind of, like, thinking, like, damn, like, I'm kind of screwed here.
Yeah, like, I want to bomb me.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a little bit of Light in him still.
Yeah.
No pun intended. But, I think, like I said earlier, like, Light, for the most part, died with L.
Yeah.
Like, he's Kira now.
Yeah. But, like, this is more so, like I said, like they've one upped me pretty much.
But the episode ends with with Light talking with Nier for the first time.
That's how it ended?
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, because the next episode picks up with that.
All right.
And Light is like gets a vibe from Nier, like the same vibe that L gave him. To him it feels like he's talking to L again.
Which kind of
because Nier pieces together that Light is the second L, like the first L is dead.
Yeah. And this kind of like, Light that's worried about this. I mean, the entire task force worried about this, but Light, like, really is the one that's worried about this because, like, I think he realizes in a way that, like, even though he got rid of L, like, he still had a plan afterwards.
Right,
too.
but I think that's also a little bit, like, joy for him because he's said himself, like, it's kind of boring without L now.
Yeah.
So I think this is, like, another, like, a second wave of excitement for him.
Yeah. Which picture, too, like, what would have happened if Walter White had that excitement again.
Oh, yeah, he was back on the streets.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we won't spoil Breaking Bad for people who haven't seen it.
Especially, too, the end of 8 would have been different, too.
Oh, yeah, would have been way different.
And, that's episode 27 when I had the last episode.
Yeah, I give this one an A-. It was pretty good, solid start to the time skip.
Yeah, and, really, too, it was just kind of, I feel like, too, like, what this time jump did so well, like, versus, like, Walking Dead 6-year time jump is that they actually the storylines that happened, like, actually they clued us in on. Like, for example, like, they didn't do anything, like, drastic that, like, happened.
We would be confused.
Yeah, like, it was, they kind of did a very good job.
Like, enough changed where we can tell time passed, but, like, not enough where it's like we're completely confused. If anything, I would say I wish a few more things were different.
Yeah,
because besides a couple characters looking older, like not too much changed.
Yeah, but I like that they kind of like we're not confused about this time jump skip either. So, maybe like a little bit more change, like maybe like Light and Misa got married or something, but
right. Although his sister even points out that they should get married.
Yeah, because it's been 6 years since they've been living together.
Yeah, well, 5 years since they've been living together.
Right. Because if we get, I have to take a year off because of
yeah, it was a year before the time skip.
Yeah, and like maybe other things like maybe like how Matsuda has like a girlfriend now or something. I don't know.
Yeah, would have been nice to add some more things, but
yeah, but nothing like nothing confusing anyways. But
yeah, just like a few like personal changes in their lives.
Yeah, but then we have episode 28. Now we will say. After 27, AJ doesn't know anything that's happened.
Yeah, except for like the last episode. I know how it ends. But.
Yeah. So me and AJ both. So we're probably not going to do a very good job now timing out when we do these reviews.
Yeah, probably.
I think we timed.
We're doing really good job timing everything out.
Yeah. So now we're gonna be kind of messing that up a bit. But now it's 28. This one I think we timed out pretty well. It looks like it anyways. Because like this kind of led to it. So pretty much we see that Light is talking to N, and N kind of introduces himself, and they agree to work together to kind of find out who's doing this kidnapping and stuff.
Right, and they assume and Nier like pretty much assumes it's Mello, but isn't like sure.
Yeah, and
because he has someone like investigate Mello, but like he can't find anything on him after he left the orphanage.
Yeah, and we even get to see kind of like within these past 2 episodes like how much alike like Mello and with L like Mello eats the sweets and is is willing to do whatever it takes to catch Kira like L was.
Yeah, but Nier is much more like calm like L and like is more like robotic, like less emotional.
Yeah, and so they what they come up with the plan to do. Well, first, Mel's group decide. They do like pretty much like Deputy Yagami like decides like obviously he wants to go down there because he doesn't want his daughter to die. And they really show like they were wondering if this was like real or not. They were just lying about it.
Right, and basically they say Deputy Yagami has to fly to L.A.
Yeah.
Or they'll kill in 2 days, or his daughter will die, and he has to bring the Death Note without any backup.
Yeah. And like Deputy Yagami's like kind of like questioning his like he wants to do this, but like he knows like that. And that's kind of the whole thing too. Like he's doing this like to be a good person and a good father and a good police officer and stuff.
But like he doesn't want to give the Death Note to these criminals,
Yeah, and he knows too, like, even though if like he hands us over, like it's not necessarily certain too, like they're gonna even live, like.
Right, like they don't say this, but like I mean, I'm sure this went through his head. Like they might just write their names.
Yeah.
As soon as they leave.
Yeah. So, which I guess they didn't do that. Obviously.
Or they might just like as soon as he enters the building. He could see his daughter's dead. They kill him and take the Death Note.
Yeah, so like, and if everything that could have gone wrong here, like, could have gone wrong, like,
really, the only reason they're alive is Mel isn't like a complete dick.
Yeah, yeah, because if he really wanted to, he really could have killed him. So Light comes up with like a follow-up plan, like how he's gonna have like the task, because like we should mention too, like Light's actually like full-on working with the task force for this plan, like. It's none of like this half-assed thing, like
he's like going in, like trying to make sure the Death Note and his sister are okay.
Yeah, and
Light's like debating on if he should kill his sister or not.
Yeah, and this kind of shows how like evil Light's gotten because he cares about his sister, but we needed to turn the light on.
Yeah.
But like when you hear like his thoughts, like none of that's going through his head, like how he cares about his sister. He's more thinking about himself than his sister.
Yeah.
So that's kind of showing that like there's more Kiyun in him than
And honestly, you can even debate if he cares about his sister at this point.
Yeah, like.
I mean, I think he cares about his sister, but someone can argue like he doesn't.
Yeah. I think he doesn't, just because like he nothing. The only thing that's really stopping him is I think like we'll get into that later actually. And Light has this plan where like him and like some of the other members of the task force are gonna fly in. to kind of make sure that he does go with at least some backup. But like it's gonna be more discreetly.
Matsuda's gonna be there and like follow the chief around when he's in LA.
Yeah.
Aizawa's gonna be on the same plane as him. Make sure he gets to LA all right.
Yeah, and
Light Misa will be in LA like ahead of time.
And he even tells Misa like I might need your eyes just in case so he can get these people's names. But
all that goes to shit when when he was going to his plane, a member of the mafia who had kidnapped his daughter directs him to a different plane.
Yeah.
And Aizawa wants to do something, but like he can't. Like it'll blow his cover.
Yeah. Then Light asks and like the U.S. task force help by like monitoring Deputy Yagami and this guy just to make sure everything goes well and stuff like that. Because basically there's nothing they can do like in person. And Light's watching this all go down, and you really see like this is getting to Light because like while all this is going on, he's having Misa write criminals' names in the death note just to make sure like Kiwa's still kind of in effect because like I think it'd be suspicious if Light was dealing with this and Kilo wasn't doing anything.
Right. So yeah, that's what Misa's doing while and he even yells at her. He's like taking out his anger on her, like screaming like, "Hey, go back to that. Stop writing names."
Even kind of a Yuke, like who's like is kind of like
neutral on this whole thing. He's just like, "Geez, man, taking out your aggression on your girlfriend."
Yeah, like, and then so then they get to Los Angeles, but they don't land at an airport. They end like in the middle of nowhere at a desert. And we find out they have like a hidden underground room. We find out like they like a lot of like criminals and stuff.
We do like exchanges here, and they like modified it.
Yeah, and pretty much too like Neo and Light are like, shit. We kind of have to just let what happens here because there's not like
I can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and this is like when Light knew like. He lost right here.
Right, and he was like gonna write his sister's name, but then like he hesitated and thought Kira doesn't know about any of this.
Yeah.
Kira like shouldn't know about any of this, so I can't write her name.
Yeah.
Because then they'll like know it's someone with police access.
So, that's what I kind of like question, like whether he really cared about his sister or not, because he was only thinking about himself.
Yeah, I think he was gonna do it if he really couldn't find any excuse. But I do think like that excuse was just like a reason, like so he didn't have to kill her.
Yeah.
Like he was trying to find any reason why he couldn't.
Yeah.
Why he wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But like I feel like if he couldn't find any reason, he absolutely would just kill her.
Yeah. And I don't think he'd feel any remorse for it either.
Yeah, probably not.
And then so they go down there and we see that Sayu is being kept in like a bulletproof case.
Mm-hmm. Hey.
You two fools.
But yeah, she's in a bulletproof case, and they show that because the guy comes out and like shoots
the case to like show like it's bulletproof, so don't try anything.
And he hit.
And he's wearing a mask, so the chief can't write his name.
Right. And he forces the chief to put the death note like in one of the openings of the case. Oh, he'll kill her like through the opening of the case. And he does it, but he has to prove whether or not it really is the death note. So he's going to write somebody's name down, and Deputy Yagami's kind of like hesitant about it, but he pretty much has no choice. Mm-hmm. Like, he has to let him write somebody's name down. And we find out it was somebody from the Mafia that I guess didn't know their place or something like that.
Yeah, like he had been like dealing drugs behind the main Mafia man's back.
Yeah.
So it was just like it doesn't really matter. It was just to prove that, that it works.
Yeah. And, they leave. We see Deputy Yagami, and Sayu get on a plane. It kind of sucks for, like, Sayu because, like, she doesn't know about any of this.
Right, like, she was just wasn't involved in any of it. She just got shit luck.
Which is, like...
and they got a helicopter.
Yeah. This is, like, one of the shittiest things because, like, you don't, sometimes it sucks, like, those characters, they have to, like, put up with this. They have nothing at all.
I know, right? Like, she doesn't know about the Death Note or any of this.
Now she obviously does now because...
Right.
And, yeah, it's going to be... She might become more of a character now because...
yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, because, like, the kid have done all this with her and just be like, like, because before, like, she was in it, but she was more just
like a background character.
yeah. But now she has to be like more of a character now because like, you know, she can't like just be a part of this and then Epiosdes is just gonna be like, okay, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he could, like, after being kidnapped, I feel like he'd be, like, more protective and be like, all right, no, you're not getting involved in this.
Yeah. But it's like, it's not like that. Yeah. Imagine what the mom was thinking, too, doing all this, like, when she...
I know, right? Like, she didn't come, she was like, oh, weird, she's out late.
Yeah.
Like, how do you explain to your wife that, like, oh, yeah, she got kidnapped by the mafia. I gotta go to America to get her back.
Yeah. Like, she didn't even know, like, what, she was all the way in America, like,
halfway, I know, right? Halfway across the world at that point.
Yeah. But there's a problem. You know, Light and Ed wanted, like, cameras to follow the helicopter, but they launch a missile, and they don't know, like, which one they are in.
Mm-hmm.
So they, you know, have the missile get blown up. But we find out that they're safe, though, that they're in the helicopter.
Yeah. So, anyway, the Death Note got away.
Yeah.
But, you know, the chief has his daughter, or the deputy has his daughter back, so
yeah,
that's good.
Light
is, like, depressed, though. Like, he's, like, just sitting in his chair, like, looking at the ceiling.
yeah.
Misa tries to give him a drink to cheer him up, and he just, like, slaps it out of her hand.
And it's kind of... because I
not even, like, angrily. He's just, like, not, like, depressed.
Yeah, because, like, Light hasn't faced this in years, so...
Like, he hasn't had a defeat since L.
Yeah, so...
like, he really wasn't prepared for it, is the thing.
Yeah. Like, think about how differently it would have been if Light had been prepared for it. Like,
Right. He probably wouldn't be able to hold his own, but...
yeah.
Even, like, members of Nier's task force were like, oh my god, this guy is, like, super unreliable.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so he's probably just not used to, like, having competition.
Yeah.
He's got to get back into his game.
Yeah, because he was rusty. He's had everything...
going his way for years. Yeah, he's not used to it.
What would it have... just pick... But maybe, like, while he's depressed, he's probably going to be kind of happy. Like, he
has some entertainment again.
Yeah. But then...
because he even said himself, it's kind of boring without L.
Yeah. And then Neo, says that... Neo says... reveals, like, that it is Mel. Pretty much.
But he does say, like, even though L or Light got completely played by Mello, like, if Nier had been in this situation, it probably would have been the same result. Because they just planned this out far too much. Yeah.
And Nier mentions, too, like, where him and Mel come from. And, Light realizes that that's where, that's the same place, like, same orphanage that Watery found. So I think he's, like, making the connection, like, L had, like, some type of backup plan.
Yeah.
Like, he's making the connection, like, he knows, because, like, you see, like, L's, like, picture, like, come in, like, in the background and stuff. Like, he knows, like, they're connected with L somehow. And then at the end, Mel writes all of N's task force.
Well, except for 2 members, so pretty much his entire task force gets wiped out.
Yeah. One of them he has, like, shoot themselves, which... It kind of shows how messed up he is a little bit because
and it's kind of cool to see how, like, different directions they went.
Yeah.
Nier spent 3 years investigating Kira and then eventually starts working with the FBI.
Yeah.
Mello spends about 2 years gaining the Mafia's trust and, like, becomes their leader.
Yeah, so...
Like, Nier's going with the government and, like, Mel's, like, going, like, with the underworld, basically.
So the episode basically ends with, and I really like the imagery of, like, because Nier was, like, stacking up, dice.
And then, like, once everyone starts dying, they start falling.
Yeah, kind of showing, like, everything's falling apart at the scenes in a way now, too. And then Light and Neo agree for their task force, like, to work together and stuff, to catch Mel, and then we'll catch Kira. Which, Light's not going to let that happen.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, it's kind of like an enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah. And this is kind of interesting because also, too, what we didn't talk about is it's not just, too, like, now of just wanting to catch Kira. Like, Nier and Mel are both fighting to be the one to catch Kira.
Right.
Because they want that recognition now because if they could do something that, like, L couldn't do, they would become known as, like, the greatest detective in the world.
pretty much.
Like they caught Kira. And yeah, maybe they wouldn't get the recognition because like technically no one really knows like L's dead, but they would get
they would know.
Yeah, and yeah, it's pretty damn awesome. And this might, and I like to like before you just had to worry about one L. Now he's gonna kind of worry about two L's now. At this point, like
right, yeah,
two people trying to catch him now.
L Juniors, basically.
Yeah, and this is also interesting too because Light can this benefits Light now in a way because he can just turn the two sides against each other.
Right, because like they hate each other.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, Light's just kind of caught in the middle right now.
Yeah,
so he can use that to his advantage.
But now he's gonna worry about two like.
Yeah, it's a double-edged coin. He can turn this two new enemies against each other, but if he can't, then he's got two like big factions trying to get him.
Yeah, exactly. And he's got to make sure like the Japan Task Force too doesn't like
right.
You know.
So like he's got two competitors as L, but he's also got two people trying to catch him as Kira.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, he's like either screwed or not screwed. Like
yeah, I know, right? It's like either 100%. It's like a 0 or 100.
Yeah. This episode we thought was great though. I thought it was a nice culmination of episode 27 and stuff.
I give it a B+.
Yeah. We like a lot of people. We talk. I guess we could say this now because you know we're actually here. He's told me before like he's heard like Death Note doesn't get as good. You know after
the time skip. I mean I could be wrong. That's just what I've heard.
Yeah. But
that's like the general consensus.
We can't judge it too just based off these two episodes alone.
Right. But 27 was like a good introduction to Mello and Nier.
Yeah.
And this was a good. It was a little weird that Light was like so like outclassed.
Yeah.
But it's like we said, it's probably just because he hasn't had any good like competition in years.
Yeah, like he's
and Mello's planned this out like really like for a long time.
Yeah. So and like I said, that's another way like the kind of you know Death Note really did a good job because like you know. They didn't. It's not like we really needed to see these plans to play out. Because if we kind of seen these plans play out, then these episodes wouldn't be as good as they are.
Right. It was like a surprise.
Yeah. But that's basically the end of the review. No plugs because we're doing a crap load of videos. So there you go.